A DC cop has confirmed, yes, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, was in fact furious, irrational, and wanted to go to that Capitol personally. Here's part of that interview.
Just how insistent was he about going?
Well, I mean, we've heard it several times while I was on the motorcade. I think during the speech, shortly thereafter, he had finished the speech, that the president was getting into the motorcade and he was upset and he, adamantly wanted to go to the Capitol. And even when we departed from the ellipse, it was repeated again that the president, it was a heated argument in the limo and he wanted to definitely go to the Capitol. So when we arrived at the White House, the motorcade was placed on standby. In my experience, if a president is going to a destination, we go. And there are some moves that just pop up along the way, but it's always communicated, it's always worked out, and we go. When the president wants to go somewhere and there's a heated argument and dispute and a debate of whether or not the president can go somewhere, and then we actually don't go. I've never had that experience before.
Once again, Secret Service, they do work with DC police on security protocol for the president of the United States. You just heard from DC officer Mark Robinson, who gave you the clear, yes, the thing that we have been talking about, Donald Trump trying to meet terrorists at the US Capitol did in fact happen. There's more. While Robinson was not physically with Trump, he learned about this agitated state via communications from Secret Service that he was privy to, all right? He also expressed to Don Lemon how January 6th could have been much worse if Trump actually got his wish. Here it is.
How did that hit with you guys on that day?
I mean, for me, I really didn't know what was, what was actually happening outside the ellipse. I could hear, transmissions from the radio that, large crowds were going up to the Capitol, but I didn't know exactly what was happening. So for me, to know that there are armed subjects outside, to know that there are large crowds responding, that was alarming because one, we weren't prepared to do that. Normally when you move a presidential motorcade, you have a secure route. So we didn't have sufficient personnel to do that. So we weren't comfortable with that move.
Yeah, were you saying, what on earth does he want to go back to the Capitol? Was that what you guys were thinking?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, now knowing what actually happened, that would have been horrible. Had the motorcade responded, to the Capitol, I think it would have been just far worse.
How so? You mean lives possibly?
Meaning that, I think it would have, probably encouraged more rioting, and I felt supported. If the presidential motorcade came in support of them. So I think the insurrectionists probably would have felt as though they had the support of the president.
They did have the support of the president. It was because the Secret Service agents are the ones specifically driving who basically saved us from that entire additional disaster on such a chaotic and deadly day. I have significant background to share with you about the events that unfolded. The comments by Mark Robinson, who has testified to the January 6th committee, further corroborate key details first revealed by former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson, who spoke at length about Trump's behavior to the White House Select Committee. Hutchinson said that she was told that Trump became irate when informed by security that he would not be going to the Capitol on January 6th because the situation was not secure. So let's talk about these deleted text messages. Let's talk about the deleted text messages from Secret Service. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees Secret Service, their watchdog agency, which in February 2021 requested all Secret Service text messages sent around January 6th, 2021, the day of the Capitol riot. They withdrew the request 5 months later, according to an email obtained by the top Democrats on 2 House committees. So what do we have here? In the month of February, we have the watchdog agency literally say, give us these text messages. And then for some unknown reason, they officially withdraw the request. Now, I know many people are saying, well, the Secret Service, they have text messages that clearly indicate Donald Trump was in fact trying to grab the steering wheel of a vehicle and go directly to the Capitol. I think it's more diabolical than that. I don't think Secret Service is simply protecting Donald Trump. I think Secret Service is protecting Secret Service. I think there are some members of Secret Service who may have actually been complicit with the idea. I think there's some communication between members of Secret Service that Secret Service does not want to come out. President be damned. I think this was about protecting that agency, not protecting a former president of the United States of America. There's more. Let's put up the picture of the DHS deputy inspector general, okay? Thomas Kite. In an email, we now absolutely are aware that Secret Service was in their or on their radar. We know this now, okay? A senior official at DHS said, and I quote, Jim, please use this email as a reference to our conversation where I said we no longer request phone records and text messages from the USSS, United States Secret Service, relating to the events on January 6th. Wait a minute. Literally, there's an email saying, hey, reference this email when you got to cover your ass about us not requesting the information anymore. Here, point to this email right here. There's more. The email was obtained by House Homeland Security Committee, chaired by Representative Benny Thompson, and the House Oversight Committee, chaired by Carolyn Maloney. There they go. They sent a letter to the DHS Inspector General's office referring to the email and noting that in December, 5 months after the retraction was requested for the text messages, the Deputy Inspector General again asked the Secret Service for text. They're playing games with you, okay? See this back and forth? They know what's going on. They're well aware. Everything else is just them putting it on paper, okay? So the representatives have requested communications from the DHS Inspector General related to the July 2021 email, and also they've asked for the deputy to make himself available to testify by August 15th. This will be under oath. It wasn't until this July that DHS Inspector General Joseph Kafuri told Congress the Secret Service emails were actually missing. Once again, further evidence of a massive cover-up. All right, trying to put all this together here. Every day there's a new dot to connect. Adrienne, thoughts here?
Oh, this is something that I've been tweeting about over the last few months. The fact is that Secret Service is 75% white and 72% male. So you can arguably say it's probably predominantly white and male when we're talking about agents here. So when we consider that, just like every other law enforcement agency, I'm not going to pretend that all of a sudden, because they take an oath and they take a badge, that it means that any kind of interest in advancing white male supremacy is something that is, let's say, off the table. So I'm not going to assume that these people are in any way superior in their mindset than other officers we have in law enforcement. And as what that Rage song says, some of those who burn crosses are the same that work forces. That's all I really have to say about that. And I think that Trump is someone that would align with that mentality in terms of burning crosses. And so I will agree that I'm sure there are some working forces and even in that federal force.
Yeah, and here's what the January 6th committee should do. Find the person that gave the order and put his or her ass under oath. That's what you do, okay? I guarantee you, all of these Secret Service agents did not all of a sudden say, we're going to now delete text messages today. Somebody gave that order. Somebody gave that order, absolutely, all right? Okay,